Hello, so I'm interviewing Maggie Pashley about the use of Emotional Freedom Technique, or EFT, and she uses it in many healings all around the world, but the particular use we're looking at in this video is the use of EFT with my runes course. So runes are the alphabet of the ancient Norse and the Germanic peoples of Northern Europe. But it's not just an alphabet. Each rune is a key to divine and magical perception of an area of life. So I'm going to name a few runes and see which would Maggie like to demonstrate the use of EFT with. Okay, well, the first rune, and the runes were said to have been seized as an alphabet by the wonderful magician warrior god Odin and given to the people. So the first one is Fehu, the rune of wealth and value issues. And so some people do feel they value themselves and others have terrible problems. They weren't valued, they don't value themselves. The next rune is Uruz. Have you got the strength you need? The rune of strength, the rune of the Uruz. The third rune is Thurizaz. Can you defend yourself? Some of us are trained not to defend ourselves. The next rune is Anzus, which is divine speech. Are we able to utter that speech which reflects our special talents and our true perception?
So shall I choose one of them now?
Yes, there are more, but you can...
No, it's okay. I'll go for the first one. I'll go for Fehu.
Yes.
And how I would probably start off is by just naming the rune itself, as a way of tuning into the sound and the energy of that rune, because obviously the name of something is a very good way of tuning into the energy of something. And just tapping generally with EFT on the points, even without using that setup phrase, can be a very good way of just tuning in. So I might just begin by just tapping on Fehu, the just sound Fehu. 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 And I might visualise the symbol of Fehu while I do this. Fehu, Fehu, Fehu. You might even chant it. Fehu, Fehu. And then thinking what that represents. Fehu, wealth. What is, and maybe asking some questions. What is my wealth? How do I feel about wealth? How do I feel about money? How do I feel about property? Traditionally it's about cattle, but these days, unless you're a farmer, you possibly wouldn't ask how do I feel about cattle. But do I have enough? How did my family feel about wealth? And then, having done that, we might have things coming up like there's never enough to go round, money doesn't grow on trees, rich people are awful, or you might actually have lots of money and feel okay about it. But even people who have a lot of money sometimes feel insecure. They might feel that they might make bad decisions. So whatever your particular thing is about money, then, or about wealth, about prosperity, you can tap on it. So I just invite you to make up your own personal statement, and it might be I'm just trying to think of a one that I have, or I have had, or many people have, and it might be there's more going out than keeps coming in. So even, and then make a statement about it, even though there's more goes out than comes in, I accept myself. And even though I feel worried about my bills, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I just, maybe it's a judgment you might have about yourself and money. Even though I'm a bad money manager, I deeply and completely accept myself. And so then just tap along with that. This money stress, this stress about wealth. Will I ever have enough? Will I ever be able to truly be able to feel comfortable with money? This stress about money, this stress about wealth, all this stress, and just keep on going until you begin to feel better. Money is such a problem. It's always been a problem for me. It's a problem for lots of people. There's never enough. And so on, and so on. And then at some point you might get a feeling of, does it have to be so? Does it have to be so? Could I change this? Could I change this? How could I change it? What would I need to change it? What would my life be like if I changed this? What if rich people can be really kind? So we're not trying to force anything. We're kind of just more in a pondering, what if mode. What would it take for me to feel at peace with money? What would it take for me to feel secure with attracting money? What would it take for me to be open to receiving? What more is possible than I've ever considered? And asking these open-ended questions can be a really good way of just beginning to open things up. Rather than us having these fixed points of view on things, we're beginning to open up to, well, what if there was another way? What if there was another way of feeling about my money situation? What could I bring into my life? What would it take for me to be open to receiving? And what more is possible? And so then, having done that, you might just sit, tune into yourself again, and think about that money situation, or your feelings about wealth, about property. And you might want to do another round of Fehu. Fehu, 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 Fehu. And really just play with it, make it your own. When you're working with Michael, you go through a whole journey. You go through a whole journey throughout the runes, and there's a gift that each rune has to give you. So you might want to spend a few days, even a week, even longer, on whatever rune you're working with. Maybe get a journal in your rune, tune into how you're feeling about the qualities of that rune, maybe on a daily basis, or maybe tuning in once, twice, 3 times a week, and so that you're actually evolving your relationship with that particular quality. And I think EFT is a very good way of doing it, because it does bring us in touch with what's actually happening in our body, and it does invite energetic change in our body. So we're not trying to force something, we are just being open to the change that we can bring into our life. So just play with this and see how it works for you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Maggie. Well, just to say that just at the moment we've got the most wonderful runes group in Latvia, and they are so positive and they're an inspiration. You can do this work with the runes either individually, and we've got individual students in many countries. You can do it totally privately or join the Facebook group, or you can enroll as a group. Various methods are used with the runes, chanting, rune stance, journeying, shamanic journeying to discover where we are in relation to the energy and principle of each rune. And of course EFT and artwork and embodiment work. So my runes course website is www.runepath.com, where there's a hyphen between rune and path. And if you want to find out more about EFT and the many, many worldwide healing modalities that Maggie uses, what website would they look at?
MaggiePashley.com. So MaggiePashley.com, and I'm sure Michael will put it on the bottom of the video.
Yes.
Thank you.
So thank you for that, Maggie. So there's a few other videos going with this. We've just done one on what is EFT, and we're just about to demonstrate the application of EFT to difficult situations described by astrology. So thank you very much, Maggie. Much appreciated.